Preparing live stream. Got it. We're going live. Okay. Oh, I gotta switch accounts here. Over to Stoic Temple. And then go to the IMC. Add. Ooh, we got new member. Invite link, copy link, and join our IMC Telegram group. We join the stream here. Boom. All right. Here we go. Ready to start. Who we have? We got Fernando. He was out with us. Daniel Newberry was out with us. Magic Man out with us. Ranger out with us. Sultan Parvanta out with us. Will Rios was out with us also. And then some other guys more or less been around. And we'll record this and see, you know, if this is something that we might post. So I'll do a quick record here to the cloud. Welcome, everybody. This is IMC Nation stream. We're going over last night out with AZD, what we call debriefing. When you go out in field is a term from the game. We're probably going to use a lot of terms from the game. So you can look up Mystery Method as a book. The Mystery Method. Mystery is the pseudonym of a character, a person who was AZD's teacher in game. And when we follow Mystery Method, that lineage, I mean, it's a very, very strong method of pickup. And then the book, The Game, which is kind of a more entertaining story about the Mystery Method, the real life story of a guy named Style. And there's a lot of terminology in the game and in Mystery Method that we'll use, even though this isn't strictly like a pickup movement. And AZD is not necessarily a pickup artist. It's kind of like, you know, once you became a master pickup artist and you never really stopped being in the game, you never lose being a pickup artist. He just isn't really practicing pickup like a pickup artist. Pickup happens naturally, and that's what we're going to go over. So we went in field, which was very simple in field. We went to a restaurant. It was an outdoor restaurant, outdoor Mexican restaurant in a rich outdoor mall area of San Jose. And, you know, it was happening. There were open tables, but there was a lot of people there also. Not a line. I don't think there was a line, but it was pretty full, like 80%, 90% full. And we just, you know, walked around, went to that venue. We left. We ended up going to a strip club later with one of AZD's relationships, ex-relationships is there. You know, he's multiple relationships with very pretty women that are very loyal to him, committed. And so there's another one that's just a dime piece at this strip club. And she's the top dancer there. Everybody turns their head, breaks their fucking neck when she walks by. And it's been that way for a long time. And he's been talking to her for some time. And, you know, we just go over there for like 20 minutes to show ourselves, a whole gang of 8 or 9 of us. And, you know, he's interacting with her. And I'm sure we'll get into that, those experiences. But it was just like 15, 20 minutes there. Then we left. That was infield. That was our night out. But it was pretty incredible what we saw. And I'm sure the guys will go over from their perspective. I'm not sure how exactly to go in the order of things. I'm sure a lot of people have something to say. Probably chronologically would be best. I would say, instead of jumping all over the place. So we'll probably start with the Guardians. We have with us the guys that were out with AZD last night, which are the 3 guys that live with him, myself and the 2 Guardians, Fernando and Sultan. And I think every base 2 guy was there, actually. Will Rios, the team leader, base leader at base 2, lawyer. And then the Guardians, Palacio, who's not here right now, and Gio, aka Magic Man. And then 2 other guys that are also at base 2, which pretty much makes them higher level than everybody else in IMC Nation who's not at a base. I mean, they're higher level than them. And that's Johnny Freedom Ranger and Daniel Newberry. So we had 8 guys plus AZD, 9 guys. And we arrived at somewhat different times. And let's see. So if anybody that was there, you know, and the people that are watching the stream, I'll cut it off on Instagram, on YouTube at some point. At some point, I'll go live on Instagram so they get a flavor of it also. So you want to join the Telegram group so that you can join the Zoom stream, actually, because I'll cut you off because I don't want to manage the stream to YouTube this whole time. I'll just end it. So while you're joined, see the link there, join the Telegram. And the recording may be posted. It depends. It may be exclusive for people that are in the Origins camp and the Animus camp. Depends on how deep we get and how powerful it is. But that just tells you there's levels to this thing. So in the order of things, if anybody that was there in person last night, if there's something that you remember that left an impression on you, but it's more early in the night, like as we arrived, maybe on our walk or drive, or some of the first interactions that were there. We don't want to jump on each other's toes too much. It's a lot of people kind of coordinating on a Zoom stream. So it's, if you have something before what someone else is saying, don't jump on them, let them say what they say, and then you come in and be like, right before that, this. So whoever thinks they have like the earliest profound memory of seeing something that left an impact on them, because that's what this is. AZD's top player in the game. Like, pick any activity. You're an artist, a drawer, sketch artist, you're a wrestler, you're a scholar of some sort, you're a salesman, you make marketing funnels, you're a car salesman, whatever the fuck, you're a real estate agent, you're a school teacher, whatever. If you were the best in the if you were around the number one in the planet, you would learn some things just in how he replies to life. And so that's what all of us, we had experiences last night. So whoever thinks they have an early one in the interactions last night, go ahead and unmute. Maybe quick intro yourself, just, hey, I'm Sultan or whatever. And then like, I mean, maybe you don't even have to do that part, but just go ahead and say it. Otherwise, we'll give it a second. I'll start if no one else has anything. But I'm sure I'll be mediating the whole time, so I'm trying to talk less, if you can believe it. At any time, if people have questions, just raise your hand. So we're not stepping on toes, but we move smoothly. Yeah, go ahead.
The first thing that I have is this door. The first thing that I remember I have written down actually is when we first sat down at this this table. This place is like it's a tequila bar. It's a Mexican tequila bar, and we sit down, and then to our left of our table, there's a girl right next to me, and there's a guy right across from her. Then to our right, to the right of our table is a girl, and then a guy. So it's like right next to us. There's a couple on each side, and they're like having a date or whatever. And the girl on the right, when we sit down, at some point AZD just turns within maybe like a few minutes, and he turns to us because he's sitting as closest to her, and he turns to us and he says that first he says, I would hate to be the guy who's with the girl next to us to the right. And then he says very soon she's going to become a lot more animated because of me. She's gonna become more animated. Like, she's gonna start playing with her hair. She's gonna start laughing a little bit louder. She's gonna start just being a little more animated than she is right now. So that's the first moment that I recall when it kind of like everything started. So if anyone has anything around there, if not, I have more too. Or if anyone has anything on that portion right there.
No, it was good. I mean, we sat down. There might be an echo here.
Yeah, it's echoing.
Yeah. The way that we sat down and his body language, the girl across. I mean, it's that two set of the guy and the girl, and just him knowing that girl is openable. It's great. It's knowing that like you don't have to necessarily open the set that's right there. If you're going to be sitting there for the next 30 minutes, an hour, your body language will open the girl. At some point, an opportunity will open for you to step through it. You don't have to force anything. Just being with a tribe, understanding that you're overpowering that set. That guy, he's nothing compared to our power as a group of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. And if we're animated and into each other, that girl is going to open to us. And what ended up happening, of course, like, the base 2 guys arrived and we expanded the table, and those people moved over, and then they were probably uncomfortable the whole night being around us, but they got more distance between them and AZD. So that ended up not really pinning out too much, but it was definitely, an awareness opener where it's like, if you're sitting in proximity to a girl because of just how the seating is, like, you don't have to sweat it or put any pressure about opening the girl. Your body language will open her, and she'll give you a signal eventually that, which might be her getting louder, crossing her legs more towards you. Eventually, maybe some eye contact will be made, or something will feel like the person is receptive enough that you can be like, what's that drink? What's that food? What's that anything? And an opener becomes available, right? Sultan or anybody?
Yeah, I mean, I'll chime in. Right from the beginning, as we do our walk, this is an outdoor mall. It's high venue, like high value venue, and we're getting a feel for the environment. And so this place, it's like a Mexican, Hispanic. It's like an attraction for a lot of Latin people. There's loud music. It's outdoors. It's Mexican food. It's good vibes. There's always fine women at that place. And so immediately we just walk in. But right before we walk in, one of the waiters, we've met her there a few times back. I don't know, it probably dates back a year now. And she immediately recognizes us. So it's like that first upload to the venue, right? It's that recognition that one of the workers, one of the
Yeah,
girls,
that was great. That was at the line at the front, like
right in
before
the
we
front.
went in. But man, it just uploads to everybody around when, and she greeted everybody. Everybody got a greeting with her. We're really getting good at milking these when like somebody recognizes AZD or is really more interested in talking with AZD. But we all get this interaction with the person that it's not about the person. It's like everybody around at the front, the hostess stand and the people near the entrance of the restaurant or whatever. They're seeing a lot of commotion with this girl. She's loud. She works there and she's not shy about it. And it's like, man, that's a great fountain of good vibes that we give because of previously gaming the girl, previously gaming the venue. So, dividends come due.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing is like, this is a lifestyle game, and this is what we talk about. This is what AZD has created here in San Jose. So as you start to go to these social venues and the reputation that you start to establish, people are going to recognize you. And so we go in, first girl that we see, she works there. She hugs all of us, says hi. She's, vibrant, happy every time she sees us, and almost like sexually happy. She's like always giving sexual terminology. It's like that. It's already established and open. And so we walk in, we get a table. It's right on the outside. And as Sultan mentioned, it's like we sit, four of us, right next to a few sets, right? There's a guy with a girl right next to us. And then right peripherally, there's this terminology. This is a technical term that, AZD uses. It's called FaceTiming. It's when the girl is maybe sitting on another table, but her knees, her legs, her shoulders, her face are pointing towards you. Let's say her eyes are not looking directly at you, but her body is FaceTiming you directly. And these are subtle cues that you'll pick up in environments and social sets to then be able to codify who's giving you the indicator of interest. So he's very aware of like the environment. Initially, he's noting that the girl next to him on the right side with the guy is giving him these indicators of interest. Then he starts to notice that there's another girl to his left, a few tables down, who's also FaceTiming, also giving IOIs, indicators of interest. So immediately there's two sets, but you got to understand the way he looks, the way we look as a pack. It's, it's four of us. And so it's going to pull and draw attention. And so having the eyes to be able to see the environment, to be able to scan the room, to be able to see where the indicators of interest are coming from are key, especially in this level of game, because you'll see as we continue to talk about this, how that set of two girls were opened and how they were brought to the table using just this, not having to get up your seat, but being able to identify who's giving you FaceTime, who's giving you IOIs, where are they watching, how long are they watching, are they becoming more animated, hoping that you notice them, right? These are like the subtle communications. So I'll leave it at that piece if anybody has anything more from there.
I want to comment on this part. So as I arrived with base 2, I don't know how long I were there. I assume it couldn't have been more than 5 or 10 minutes. And then like as soon as I sat down, AZD starts like mentioning how the girl to the left is FaceTiming him. And so like, I've heard this term many times now, and like I had an idea of what it was, right? But he was literally like, that one right there is FaceTiming me. So I got to like see that in action and see what that looks like. And just the awareness of the environment is like, he has so much awareness, which is just like, it's beyond me. Like, now as I'm getting better and better, I'm starting to see it more and more. But obviously his awareness is extremely high on this. And so whenever he would like turn to me and say like, yeah, the one over there. And then I would look, and then she would literally be looking in our direction. Like whenever he turns away, that's when her eyes come. So like, it was just cool to see that in action and to see that, for you yourself, whenever you're out, like, can you start to pick up on these cues that the environment is giving you? Because when I first started this whole thing, it's like, I'm just like, when I begin, I'm just like trying to see, okay, how can I talk to a girl? Like, how can I be in set with a girl? How do I handle that? That's like one level, whereas AZD's level is the entire fucking place. And so like, just kind of realizing that there's levels to this thing of, the interaction that you're having right now with the people directly in front of you versus the environment and how it is viewing you. And so, you know, whenever we all walk in together, or whenever we're, you know, in dialogue or in communication with each other, we attract a lot of attention. And like, really, I obviously like 80-99% of that is from AZD, but of course we're also adding to that as well. So just having that level of awareness was very eye-opening for me. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You know, I noticed like just the way he sat down and this kind of like, you know, jockeying and coordinating like who's going to sit there and there. It's a subtle thing. It happens real quickly and it's not like forced or anything, but there's always an intention on like where the sets are, who's noticing, who's turning their head. Like it's not like at some point you turn on the radar, you turn on the eyes and you start paying attention to the game, or you start paying attention to your infield. It's just like continuous from the beginning, from always. It's like always being aware of who is turning their head, who's noticing, all the way from the drive, who's noticing as we drive up, to we're walking, who's noticing. And, you know, even the decision to go in that venue, we were going to go to a whole other area. We were going to go to Campbell, but we went to Santana Row, which is like 15 minutes away or whatever. And you know, he wasn't even feeling good. He had like a stomach upset and some gas or something from something he ate. And from the beginning, he was saying, I mean, he was saying he didn't want to go out the whole time. So it was just, you know, rolling with it, going with the flow, and not imposing too much of it should be this way or that way. Like later I found out that him and Sultan didn't order any food. They were waiting for the waiter to come back and expected like the waiter to ask for food. They didn't make any big deal about it. They said it afterwards, after we left. They never ordered anything. And I mean, me, myself, I would have fucking been, hey, I want to order something, but they didn't want to do that. They didn't make any big deal about it either. So, you know, it's definitely nothing's a big deal. And I mean, the next moment for me, I mean, I remember him yelling it was like 2 or 3 tables away that this girl, I didn't know if there were 2 girls there. I only saw the one girl, looked pretty. And there was some acknowledgement, some hand wave. There was talking. He didn't stand up and he didn't make it so loud. I know he could be loud enough. We could all be loud enough to be heard. He was loud, but he was repeating himself. I forget what he was saying, you know, like.
Well, so what, you mean that 2 set?
It was the 2 set when he was yelling before he went over there.
First he said he said hi to her, like he waved, and then he said, "What's going on?" No, he didn't say what's going on. Sorry, I have it written down here. Oh, he says she waves at him and smiles, and he says, "How you doing?" And he says, "How you doing?" And then like, you know, obviously like it's so far away. So then he says it's fine. He goes like this, "It's fine later."
But and he definitely said, "How you doing?" Probably like 3 or 4 times at least. And he was loud and he was clear, but he didn't get so loud to be heard. It wasn't that big a deal. And he wasn't violating any of the other tables. So it was a real interesting situation. It was officially an open. It was an open. She opened back. But it wasn't over-invested. There was so much transferred in the body language and the smile and the face and the confidence to do that and project, and the savvy and the confidence to let it go. Have to have it become something right there. It just that was definitely a moment for me. If anybody has anything to add on that, or we move to the next moment.
Right before that happened, there's something that happened that was very fast, and it was the first like set that he went up to and sat at their table. Like there's 2 people. It was a man that was like this really buff like Indian dude. He looked like a fucking like Bollywood guy or some shit. And he was with his chick or whatever, and they're eating, and then. So they're sitting right across, literally like right across, like our table is here. Like if you're looking at it from the sky, our table is right here. Their table is right here. So with one table over in front of us, and the girl goes like this, like kind of like this, towards AZD. But I didn't realize, and he didn't realize, AZD didn't realize that they were signaling someone that was behind us. You know, because there's a whole like walkway. There's a bunch of stores behind us. You know, there's restaurants behind us. And AZD says to her, he waves back and he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "What's going on?" Like smiling. And then he gets up out of his seat immediately. Just gets right up out of his seat, walks straight over to their table. He shakes the guy's hand first, and he shakes the girl's hand, and then he says like, how do we know each other? To the guy, how do we know each other? And the guy's like, I couldn't hear what the guy was saying. He was talking quiet, but it sounded like when I was, you know, I was trying to like read what he was saying. And he was saying something like, you know, I think what he said was like, we were calling someone over there. And then like they got into dialogue. Like somehow they got into dialogue. I couldn't hear the dialogue. Then AZD sits down at their table. But the thing is, you know, when he walks up to their table, it looks like from the outside, if you're watching, oh, he knows those two people know him, like they know each other, but these are just strangers. They don't know him. He doesn't know who they are. But from the outside, when you know when the girls from the other tables that are around us are watching, it looks like he already knows these people. So that's already one table that he's went right up to, sat down and had an interaction with, and it was brief. Like he went up, like Yogi Chris was saying, he knows when, you know, to pull back. He's not going to sit there the whole night or for 10, 15 minutes and just fucking keep talking. He sat there for like maybe a minute and a half max, talked, and then just got right up and came right back and sat down. So that happened. That was very fast. That was maybe like a 2-minute thing that happened right before what Yogi Chris just said before me. It was like right before that happened, what I just said happened. So that was a big moment, man. I mean, that kind of started the whole thing because that was the first table he went right up to. And, you know, a lot of people saw that. A lot of people were looking when I was just paying attention to all the heads. And all the heads were turning towards him as he walked up to that table. So I don't know if did anyone else see that? No? Okay.
I noticed that when he went over to the two set of girls, that there were these 3 black guys, I think it was, and they all looked similar. They had these like kind of this like dreadlock fro kind of thing going on, and they all sat down at the table in between him and it was within a couple minutes, I think, that he got up and he approached the girls.
Yep.
And I saw them.
Oh, you got muted.
Talking amongst themselves. They were looking and they were like, you could just tell that body language because I'm muted.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll
like,
do it from laptop here.
Okay.
So you could just tell, because I've had that body language. We've had that body language when like you were gonna open some girl and then you're like waiting, and then someone else opens her and you're like, that's fucking connected to the Bluetooth here. And you're like, this motherfucker. Like, and then you're sitting there like waiting for him to bomb out so that you can go in and be like, man, it is some guys, they just bother you, like, or whatever. But he didn't bomb out, of course. And he didn't get rejected. But I see these 3 guys, I mean, handsome looking, young, fit looking guys, you know, clean, whatever. They're at this restaurant, like talking amongst themselves, but they were frozen out. Like they got totally discouraged when AZD approached the 2 girls right behind them, sitting right behind them. I'm sure they were looking and thinking like, oh, how am I going to approach these 2 girls? And AZD walks past them. I don't know what he says to them. If he says anything to them, talks to them, comes back over and tells us, we got to make space because 2 girls are about to come in and sit here. And we were smashed together at these like 2-3 tables, like all 9 of us. Like I was bumping into the guy that was next to me that was with this girl. The other end of the table, Magic Man was like basically sitting in the dude's lap. He was so fucking close to him with the dude and the girl across from him. And but that's, you know, that's what I remember seeing. And so even if that happens, it even reminds me, like, I mean, so much in seeing AZD's like initiative and ambition and like courage, I guess it would be. And although it's less courageous when you know what you're doing and you know the window's open and the door's open, it doesn't take that much courage to do, but there is this thing. And then of course the courage to get to that level of skill, a lot of failed attempts, you know, so that's all embodied in, you know, what he did. And so seeing all of that, but even seeing the guys and how they were discouraged and not being that guy. If you miss an opportunity to open a girl, move on right away. No butt hurtness, because someone else in the venue is looking at you and they'll notice that butt hurtness. You just move on, right? There's no looking back. So that was a reminder for me in that. So if anybody else wants to take it from there.
Yeah, something.
Go ahead, Newberry.
All right, cool. So what was so impressive to me about that approach that you did to the 2 set across from our table is AZD said that was all for his target on the left. There was another table with another girl wearing a brown jacket. That was like his target. And he basically said, I opened the 2 set in front of us so she could see, that the target could see. I just thought that was a really cool thing that he did. Like, it was just cool. Just adding that in there.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back a little bit. Like, what a reference that is, just to even open that way when he was opening the two girls from like 15 feet away. It's like, I would have never had the idea that that was possible if I didn't literally sit next to it and see it happen. Like, who goes to a restaurant and then starts talking to people at other tables, and then like even just that alone, and then to like have the confidence to just like yell but not yell. Like, it was a very fine line that he was vocal at, and like just be like, hey, how's it going? Okay, later. Like just to even do that, like just, this is why, being around AZD, and then, now I'm practicing a lot with Eros, is like they do things that are just out of your reality or out of your framework of what is available to you, like as an experience. And so like now that is logged into my head as something that I can now do in the future. Like now, like, whereas who knows how many years of time and, spend practicing I would need to get to where, oh, I could probably do that. Like that's a move that I could possibly do. And then he just, just did it. So like, I just wanted to come back and that is possible. That is available to you as an experience to where you can open people at restaurants. Because like before in my normie life, I would have never thought that was possible.
And I'm curious from Will or anybody, if there's anything that you remember or that left an impression in you in terms of AZD's body language, how he was sitting or how he moved to the table, or how when he came back to our table, is there anything that stands out maybe that left an impression on you?
For me, it's always the body language. The body language is ridiculous. Like I remember when I first came, it's just, I can't describe it. Like, one day I'll be, close to it and I'll be able to describe the words, but it's very relaxed. It's very almost inattentive. Like he's not really focused on any particular thing. He's just kind of there grooving. Like it's very liquid. I think the word would be like liquid or like water. Like he is very flowy. Like it's not rigid at all. And so like whenever he approached the girls, I think he was kind of like leaning on the table a little bit. I don't think he sat down. I think he was like standing up, kind of leaning on the table, probably like, with like on his elbow or something, as he was speaking to them. And then mostly I was looking at the girls and their reactions, and they were just smiling and giggling like the whole time. But there's a lot of body language in the set, but just in general, like just how he moves, it's like, yeah, I can't really put any more words on it. Like I just need to be more and more around it to more and more really see what exactly that is. What I assume or what I think it is because, the beast process, like it is also what like started to change my body language, which was the calisthenics and the working out and waking up early, like just kind of becoming that animal, becoming that fucking beast, like that changes how you move through the world. Like it changes how you feel, it changes your mind state. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to give a little gold nugget. I'm going to cut off the YouTube stream now, guys. So if you're watching on YouTube, you should have been joined. There's a bunch of you. You should have joined that Telegram group by now, and then you could join the Zoom. So I'm cutting it off in just a minute, actually. So I'll give you that chance, that last chance. Will, you were just saying. And what's so interesting is, a lot of us, and some of us maybe haven't practiced any pickup, but a lot of us, I think, if you've been to a venue and you've practiced enough, at least for a couple hours here or there, there's something called like getting into the flow of it, and you kind of let go of some of the static energy that you got going on. You get into a talkative state, and at some point you've experienced that, and then some of these moves become less of a move and they're more natural. You naturally talk to the person 2 tables over when you're already in such a social state. You feel very comfortable in the environment. You would do that naturally. Like if Will was at the table 2 tables over, I might at some point yell over there because we have such rapport. And it wouldn't be such a courageous move or whatever. But what we're seeing, because we're not going to venues where, it's like Las Vegas nightclub venues, but they're social venues, is it's like bringing that tapped in the flow state, in the social state experience to this, Silicon Valley outdoor mall kind of situation. And it's just a slaughter. It's a slaughterhouse, right? Sultan, it's a slaughterhouse. So that's just what I wanted to say. Okay, YouTube, you had your chance. I'm cutting you off now.